before we get started on the test questions. Again, remember to use your test study guide that was sent in the initial packet. Again, the test will be 9 a.m. Central. And that link that Tiffany sent you, 10 Eastern, make sure the night before, of course, get plenty of sleep like you would have done when you were in college. Get plenty of sleep the night before a test. Best browser to use is Chrome or Firefox. Chrome seems to be the best, I think. Don't leave any questions blank. If you have, again, with a true false, you have the 50-50 chance. So just don't leave any things unchecked. You have a few fill in the blanks. Again, there's 54 questions. Again, if you remember, there's going to be a proctor monitoring you when you take the test, so don't have anybody else in the room that could be misconstrued as helping you. On the test, you will need to make at least 80%. So basically, that breaks down you can miss 11 questions. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you cannot have anything on your desk, no study guides or other materials from this, everything we've gone over. Remember, many times your first answer will be correct, so don't dig too deep into it and don't try to second guess yourself. And you don't spend too much time on one question. If you're a little stumped, like you've probably done another test. Hit that one for a minute, keep moving on, then you can always have time to go back to it. And one of the things I always like to recommend too is always don't rush through it. The ones who do not rush through it, just a minute, Sheila. The ones who don't rush through it are the ones that usually do very well. Yes, Sheila.
Is it timed?
I believe it is, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, you have an hour.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. All right.
It's been a little while for me. Yeah, an hour. Okay. All right. Any questions about any of that before I move on to some test preparation?
The test study guide, is it the one that titled suggestions for test preparation? Is that the one?
Yes.
That's the one.
As far as like the sections, what would you recommend focusing on the most, like pages like 5 and 6, 7, 8, or towards the lighter end of what we talked about? I know all is important, but what would you?
I mean, just speaking for myself, when I prepared for it, what I did is I reviewed the summaries for each of the chapters. It's just what I did. I reviewed my notes, like we're doing with the testing at the end of the day. I made sure I wrote all that down and I prepared with that. And just look for little ways to remember certain things like 4 forms and 2 types. That was one of my little techniques that I learned. Just, find these little things that work for you. Everybody's a little bit different, but I reviewed it all, made sure I had a good handle on it.
Okay.
That's just, personal, what I did.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and close this out, and I'll pop up the other one. 1 second. Okay, and what we'll do is kind of like what Jim did the other day. I'm going to go in the opposite direction with some of these questions to make sure we get them all. Just 2 questions per person, and then we'll set y'all free. Speaking for Jim and myself, we've really enjoyed this group. I've been very impressed because you've all come up with some really great questions, and you come up with some ideas that other groups hadn't come up with. So I was like, this is a good group. I even told Jim one of the times when you were in a breakout room, I said I really enjoyed this group because I could tell you're all actively involved and you're thinking things through. So that's always nice to see on our part. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock some of these out. On my little list here, Deidre Walker is the last one on the list. I'll start with you and work my way up. True or false, chain of custody refers to how we establish the authenticity of documentary evidence. I can read it again if you like.
No, that's false.
You got it. Here we go. Watch this. The only little audience applauding you. Great. It's false and it's physical evidence. All right. One more for you. True or false? Photographs show special relationships better than diagrams. True or false?
Facial relationship, false.
Excellent. Yep. Very good. All right. Dikaria. When a police officer arrives on the scene of an event, you are to assist them with what they need. True or false?
True.
What'd you say?
True.
Correct. Mr. White? Oh, you're just applauding? Okay, that's our hand there. All right, Dakaria, let's see. True or false, an employee has the right to remain silent during an interview, incident interview. True or false?
False.
Very true. They are required to participate as part of their employment. Danielle, let's see. All things being equal, a witness's story that has a source of independent corroboration is said to be more credible than one that does not. True or false?
True.
You are right. Very good. That is true. Because again, we have an independent source. It's not have any, feeling one way or the other about how it turned out. That just heightens the more likelihood that statement is correct. Alrighty, let me see. Next one. Okay, this one more for you. Person with cognitive impairment should never be considered credible.
That one is false.
Awesome. Miss Lindsay, let's see what we have here. Hey, this one I don't know if we've ever gone over yet with you, but it could be in the test. If it is best practice for an investigator to give a witness a hug if they start to cry during an interview, true or false? I don't think your mic's on, Miss Lindsay.
False.
Right, very good. Because especially in this day and age, stay on your side of the table, let them stay on their side of the table. You don't want anything that could be misconstrued in one way or the other. All right, very good. Let me see. Ms. Lindsay, what questions should an investigator ask to transition to the next slice of time?
What happened next?
Oh my God, you guys are awesome. You guys are gonna ace this, I have no doubt. Let's see. Miss Deborah, you're next. Okay. What are the tasks an investigator should perform once they arrive on the scene of an incident in correct order? This is like a fill in the blank one.
What are the what?
What are the tasks an investigator should perform once they arrive on the scene of an incident in correct order?
You did say Deborah, right?
Sure did.
Okay. In order.
Yes, ma'am.
I would be the first one to miss something.
That's all right. And I mean, it's okay to say I don't know, and we can run through it. No problem.
Okay, I don't know them in order. I can probably list a couple of things that they would do. I would say secure the scene, make sure people are safe, if there had been an injury that occurred. Speak with the reporter.
Yeah, you're on the right track now. See, the ones you mentioned before, that's before you leave to go to the scene. Make sure everybody's safe, make sure everybody's separated, make sure the scene's secure. That's before we arrive, before we go out. Once we arrive, and then everybody might want to write this one down. I'll just read it over again. What are the tasks an investigator should perform once they arrive at the scene of an incident in correct order? First thing we do as soon as we arrive is speak to the supervisor regarding how the scene was secured, if there was anything that was changed or altered. We collect physical and or create demonstrative evidence, taking our photographs of the room, injuries, what have you. Then we conduct our interviews. That'd be number 3. And then number 4, collect and review documentary evidence. And then number 5, we conduct background and or follow-up interviews. And I'll run through that one more time. First thing we do, once we arrive, not before we leave, but once we arrive, we speak to the supervisor who secured the scene. Number 2, we collect physical and or create demonstrative evidence. Number 3, we conduct interviews. Number 4, collect and review documentary evidence. Number 5, conduct background and or follow-up interviews. And if you remember, this is not part of that question, but if you remember when we're talking about interviews, we always interview the reporter first, the person supported, the direct witnesses, and all the circumstantial witnesses. All right, one more for Deborah. Let's see. What is the order of witnesses that we should interview? Oh, so I just told you that one. Never mind. You would have got that one right.
Go with that one more time.
Okay, the list is, of people we should interview in appropriate order. Again, I jumped ahead, I guess, on my own. The list should be the reporter, the victim or the person supported, the eyewitnesses, then the circumstantial witnesses, and then the alleged staff. And I don't think we mentioned this, but the reason we want to interview the alleged staff last is because you're gathering information from everybody and everything, and you want to make sure that you have all your questions you need so you don't have to go back and re-interview them again. So it's best to leave them for last, and you got all these statements. Now you have a pretty good handle on what happened. All right, Miss Sheila. Let's see. What does it mean by systematic collection? And this could be on the test.
My first response would be the way we collect the information, the order that we collect it in.
You're so close, so close.
But I'm not there.
Yeah, you're this close. You're this close.
Okay.
What does it mean by systematic collection? Remember that it's the rules that govern the behavior of the investigation. It's what you said, but it's just that terminology. Rules that govern the behavior of the investigation. So the systematic collection, what does it mean? Rules that govern the behavior of the investigation. You'll get this, no worries. Okay, one more for you. What are exceptions to hearsay? There was 2.
Exceptions to hearsay. Oh gosh, I know that. Why I
I
can't
know you
see
do.
it now.
I know you know it.
Apparently I don't, because I can't say it.
Ability to.
I don't know.
I'm getting a little excited here. Tell me what you think it might be.
Don't get too excited. Go ahead and answer it.
I was trying to help you there a little bit. It's excited utterance. So,
Say it again.
excited utterance and omission.
Admissions.
So what are the exceptions to hearsay? It's excited utterance and omission. That's why I was excited.
You tried to give me a clue, didn't you?
Yes, I was trying to help. That's me.
You tried.
That's my nature. All right. Let's see. Let's see. How many did I give you, Gloria?
Oh.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm
Go with exception.
Go ahead. Okay. I'm gonna move on
Did we
to
go-
Abdul. I'm
Did we
sorry.
Did we go with exceptions to the hearsay? I lost my sound for a
Oh,
second.
okay. What were
those
well,
two?
here's the back. We'll make sure you have it. So what are the, let's see, what are the exceptions to hearsay,
Yes, sir.
excited utterance, and admission? Okay, Abdul,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. Abdul, what is the value of hearsay testimony?
It can provide the lead.
You are awesome. Good job. Okay, and let's see, next one, let's see. Abdul, what is opinion testimony?
It, like that of the expert.
That's part of it, but it's a little bit different.
It is testimony that is based on somebody's perception of what might have occurred.
Yes, you're right there too. Again, what is opinion testimony? Someone speculates. That's kind of the key phrase. Someone speculates about what happened. All right. Give me a quick second. I just had looks like a serious email. I want to double check real quick. Okay, it can wait. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. All right, Miss Jennifer, let's see, get back on track here. That's kind of our lives. Sometimes we have to multitask like bandits. Okay. Ms. Jennifer, what are the 2 reasons for persons being declared incompetent to give testimony?
One of them is the neurological cognibility.
Very good.
And, just totally forgot the second one.
I just can't tell.
and I can't think of the second one, honestly.
They can't tell the truth.
They can't tell. That's right. I was about to say untruth. So
Right. Neurological. Okay. What are the 2 reasons for persons being declared incompetent to give testimony? It's neurological impairment. That's one. And also they do not know the difference between telling the truth
right
and
and truth.
Yeah. So basically, if they can't, if they don't know the difference between telling the truth and telling a lie, they cannot submit under oath.
Right.
Alrighty. And I'll give you a true or false one. The exception to opinion testimony is, I'm sorry, true or false? The exception to opinion testimony is the omission. True or false?
Exception. Can you read that one more time?
Certainly. The exception to opinion testimony is the omission.
False.
Very good, very good. That was a little tough one for several people before. It is, to be correct, it is the exception to hearsay. So if you see that on the test, the exception to opinion testimony is the omission, that will be false. Very good. Okay. Ms. Lopez, Ms. Lori, what is slicing through, oh, I'm sorry, what are you slicing through when slicing the bologna?
Spice.
It's just time on that one. We're slicing through time, you know, one step after another. You start from the door, boom, 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 boom. All right, and let's see. When do you conduct an exploratory interview?
When you don't have the date and time. Or
You don't know
place.
that. You're right. You had it. I'll give you that. When do you conduct an exploratory interview when there is no time or space? An example of that would be like a serious injury of unknown cause. There's somebody who shows up with an injury. We don't know how it happened. We don't know when it happened or where. So you have to do some exploratory interviews on that. Good. Nicole.
Okay.
All righty. So I think Jim went over this yesterday. What are the foundation questions in slicing the bologna?
Who did you see? What did you see? What did you hear? What happened next?
Oh my God, you're awesome.
Good job.
Very good, very good. Okay, when do you do follow-up interviews?
they're conducted after the initial interview, when you forgot to ask something, you've acquired new information or new issues, and resolve conflicts or discrepancies.
Jesus.
Great job, great job. And if anybody, I don't want to rush through this. If anybody has any questions about any of it or needs me to read it back to them again, no problem at all. We want to make sure you guys are good to go. All right. Very good, you guys. Kevin, you're up.
Yes, sir.
It's Dan. I'm like I said, I'm just a guy. What should you say to a witness if they say that they don't know anything about the incident? The little paragraph we talked about.
I just went blank. Well, oftentimes, I'm gonna mess this up. So, oftentimes, sometimes when we are in the vicinity of something that may have happened, sometimes we forget. I can't remember. I remember it in the morning.
You are so right on track, though. You are so right on track. And as you're just starting out with your investigations for your agencies, it might not be bad to have that on a little index card until you get that flow.
Definitely so.
That's actually what I did when I first started using the bridge, and now I can do it in my sleep. Sometimes people in the vicinity of an incident may see or hear something that they were not sure was important. I need to ask you some detailed questions to help resolve this problem. It's called building a bridge. Anybody want to go over that one more time? We'll be good.
Yes.
Okay, I'll assume we're good then.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. One more for my friend Kevin. What is the first question you should ask after giving the purpose of your investigation?
What can you tell me about the incident or situation?
You nailed it. You nailed it. Very good. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna do well. They're gonna do well. Deidre Chapman. Let's see. What are the 3 reasons for doing a background interview? Goes, man, I was hoping for a true or false.
I really was.
What was that question again?
I'm sorry. Let's see. What are the 3 reasons for doing a background interview?
One, the relations between people, obtain consumer histories, and gather information from an expert.
You nailed it. It's establishing relationships, obtaining consumer history or person-supported history. That's old term. Gathering information from an expert. So the relationships between people, they may know, like a supervisor may know some history on a person or a staff member, or gathering additional information like from an expert. Very good. Okay, one more for you. This kind of ties into that. What are the 4 types of interviews?
Oh, I know that.
Jim went over that yesterday again.
Oh, that's evidence. Why do I not have it? Give me a second.
Yeah, you got all the time in the world. 4 types of interviews.
I got everything else. Can you just tell me? I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. This is how we learn. This is just, what we're doing to help. What are the 4 types of interviews? Incident, exploratory, background, and follow-up.
Thank you.
No problem. Andrew, you're up. What forms of evidence are circumstantial?
I say anything that's not eyewitness.
Right. What forms of evidence are not circumstantial? The simple phrase is all of it. Anything that is not direct is circumstantial. So anything beyond that, so you just say all of it, all of them. Very good. You guys can do well. Let's see. Let's see. I'll go on to this one here. True or false? An investigator takes a photo of an injury is the same as a doctor listening to a beating heart using a stethoscope. True or false?
I would say false.
You would be correct, sir. Very good. Very good. You guys are going to do well. Let's see. I'm going to skip over that one. A couple of these are too easy. Okay, Miss Tammy. Direct evidence is said to be conclusive when answering the investigatory question, while circumstantial evidence is said to be what?
Her computer has went out. It's not on at all. She's trying to log back in.
Okay. Well, we'll come back around to her. I'll just put a little circle.
She's in the other room. She said, what was the question again?
Okay, sure, we can do that. We can go back to it. Direct evidence is said to be conclusive. So remember, direct evidence is conclusive because it answers everything if it's accurate when answering the investigatory question. While circumstantial evidence is said to be what? It's a one word.
She said leading.
No, it starts with another. I'll say it starts with a C. It might help her a little bit.
It starts with a C, Tammy.
Starts with a C.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's direct evidence. Again, direct evidence is said to be conclusive when answering the investigatory question, while circumstantial evidence is said to be what? If she doesn't know, that's fine. We'll just say it.
She says she don't know.
Okay.
She said,
Compelling. There you go. Tell her she got applause for that. She got it. Compelling. So again, on that one, direct evidence is said to be conclusive because it pretty much answers the investigatory question, while circumstantial evidence is like everything else, so it's compelling. It kind of leads us to where we need to be in an investigation. All right, I'm going to move on to Miss Greta. What is physical evidence? There's two parts to it.
what's the question? It's not for you anymore.
I'm letting you have a break because
Physical evidence is things such as injuries or lack of injuries, weapons, body fluids.
yeah, you're yeah, exactly right. It's right, but more specifically, what is physical evidence? It's things, everything you mentioned. So it's things, and remember, spatial relationship between things. Those two parts. The things themselves, as you mentioned, and spatial relationship between and among the things.
Right.
Very good. Okay, let's give you one more. Okay, this one's a little more lengthy, but I think you can handle it. How does the investigatory question help the investigation?
How does the investigator question help?
How does the investigatory question help the investigation? And this is one of the questions I asked y'all on the first day.
Okay. The question may seek to answer the number of sub-questions. As far as like who was in the room, what time were they? Oh.
That's fine. I mean, I can see you're trying, and I'll give you points for that. How does the investigatory question help the investigation? Keeps us focused, keeps us organized, shows where evidence is available based on time and space. Because remember, we're talking about when we do set up the investigatory question, it gives us basically puts blinders on us and lets us focus on what our question is. And then that helps us keeps us focused. It also keeps us organized. And it also, when we talk about that time and space intersection, it helps us know the focus on the time and space of the event.
Okay. Gotcha.
Benjamin's not here. We'll go on to Miss Barbara. Okay.
All right, let's see what I can do.
Let's see. Oh, what are facts?
What are facts?
Hmm?
That's the evidence that it did happen.
What? Yeah, somewhat. Go a little more generic.
A little more generic. Let me look at
Facts equal.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Perception, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and feel. I mean,
What are facts?
degree of certainty.
What's that?
Degree of certainty.
You're going right around it. You're so close. What are facts? Simply put, pieces of information.
Pieces of information.
And I would write that down, everybody, just in case. What are facts? Pieces of information. All right, we'll give Miss Barbara one more. True or false? Testimonial evidence is preserved by creating demonstrative evidence. Remember our order. Is that true or false?
The order.
Oh, shoot.
Testimonial evidence is preserved by creating demonstrative evidence. Is that true or false?